Hello and welcome. I'm very excited to have you here with us today on our Connections of the Heart teleclass. To begin, I'd like to introduce myself. For those who do not yet know me, my name is Linda Diefenbach, and I am the owner of Wellness and Harmony. I'm a holistic healing arts practitioner, energy healer, and coach. I specialize in working with people to help them overcome the devastating impact of traumatic life experiences, enabling them to overcome the energetic and conscious imbalances created through these experiences so that they can free themselves from suffering and come into their joy. I work with both groups and individuals in private one-on-one sessions, through workshops, meditation circles, and through ceremonies such as Native American sweat lodges and other events such as the Autumn Goddess Retreat. Before we get into the details of the call, I'd like to go over some general technical details. First, be aware that the call is being recorded. We're going to keep everyone muted to prevent distraction and from any background noises. In order to receive the greatest benefit from the call, please ensure that you're in a quiet place, free from distraction, with TVs, cell phones, and so forth turned off. Have some water and a pen and paper available. Tonight is our first call in a series of monthly calls designed to support you in learning to live more fully from the heart. Through these calls, we'll explore relationships that we have with ourselves, with our bodies, with others, and with our lives. Each month, I will present you with new tools, both through my work as well as through the work of other healers and teachers in our community. And tonight, I'm honored to be joined by Robin Friedman. Robin is an energy coach and a hypnotherapist. She helps people feel better fast, and she helps people get what they want by changing their energy system and their subconscious mind. Robin has always been fascinated by energy and the subconscious, by the hidden flow of energy in and through our bodies and how it affects our bodies. Robin believes that what's on the inside influences what manifests on the outside. This belief has led to her study of EFT, hypnotherapy, NLP, and energy medicine. She helps people who are overwhelmed, scared, or stuck to get free, to get their energy flowing, and to connect to their inspiration. Then they can step easily into their new lives. EFT is self-empowering, and she loves teaching the tools so you can use it daily in your life to feel better fast. Tonight, Robin's going to be leading us through a process to clear out old energy regarding relationships. We'll be using EFT, which is like emotional acupressure, tapping on points of the head and body that she will guide us through. This specific exercise is called the tapping tree, where each will list privately on paper our own events, emotions, and symptoms of unhealthy relationships and clear them. This invites the collaboration of the conscious and subconscious mind and can have profound results. One of her clients saw her past as a burned-out, shriveled old tree, and after applying the EFT process to it, she then saw the tree with new shoots springing up from beneath the midst of the beautiful leaves, bearing beautiful leaves and fruits. The beauty of this process is what it will be unique to you. All you need to bring is a piece of paper and water to stay hydrated. So welcome, Robin, and thank you so much for joining us and sharing your gifts with us tonight.
Thanks, Linda. It's my pleasure. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, great.
Are you at all familiar with EFT? Should I explain it a little bit?
Give us a little bit of a brief background so that I and those who are listening can get some insight.
So just like we have a physical body, we have our circulatory system, our skeletal system, our nervous system. They all work together. So we also have an energy body, and there's different systems that are unique and distinct, but they all work together. Three that most people are aware of are the meridians, which are like rivers of energy flowing up and down our body, and everyone's meridians pretty much flow in the same way. And these were mapped out 5,000 years ago by the ancient Chinese. And then there's the chakras, which run kind of up and down. They're like spheres or cones coming out from the spine, so, very different, the chakras and the meridians. And then the aura is kind of like our own space bubble. And tonight, the EFT pretty much works with the meridians. And so we have this energetic vibration, and our energy body stores things that have happened to us. So if we have been, say, scared by a spider, then there's almost like a stuckness in our energy body regarding spiders. So when we, I could see a spider and just go, oh, that's a spider, and you could see a spider and be jumping on the bed. And the same thing, of course, happens with relationships and everything else. So what we're going to do tonight is clear out some of those stuck things in our energy body. So just to, I'll tell you a little bit of the history of how it started, which is actually a great story. There was a psychologist named Roger Callahan. He'd been working with a woman, Mary, for a year and a half. She had this severe phobia of water. She just freaked out. She was really, really, really afraid of water. It was hard to take a shower. I mean, you can imagine being afraid of water. So he'd been doing traditional talk therapy, not getting very far, but a little bit. She could dip her toe in, but she would still kind of freak out, and she would panic and her heart would pound. So he was outside. They were outside, and she could see his pool in the background, and they were talking. And she said to him, "Just looking at that pool, I feel butterflies in my stomach." So now he had just been studying the Chinese medicine and had learned all about the meridians, and he knew that stomach meridian ended on the bone right underneath your eye, kind of like in the middle, right on that bone. And he said, "Well, just try this." He said, "Just tap here, tap, on the bone under your eye." So she was looking at the pool behind him, way off behind him, tapping there, and she jumped up. She said, "It's gone, it's gone." And he's like, "What's gone? The butterflies in your stomach?" She said, "No, my fear of water." She ran towards the pool. He's freaking out because she's had this lifelong fear of water. He's like, Mary, don't jump in." And she turned and she said, "My common sense isn't gone. My fear of water's gone." She sat down at the edge. She put her feet in. She splashed herself. Totally gone. So like in the EFT world, that's called a 1-minute wonder. And things don't always happen that quick, but it is possible because there was an energy blockage, and she cleared it by tapping there. So he went on to not invent, what's the right word? He started a new field called thought field therapy, which I actually like that term very much because it kind of says what it is. Like around us, there is a thought field. And it was very elaborate. He had this big manual. So for this problem, you tapped on these spots in this order. And it was pretty complicated, but it was very effective. And finally, this man, Gary Craig, came along, and he was like, "This is so complicated. Why don't we just tap on every spot for every problem?" There's only 14 meridians. It's only going to take a couple minutes, and that basically is what EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, is. We tap on the end of every meridian for every problem. It takes under 2 minutes. So what we're doing is we're bringing the whole energy body into calmness while we're focusing our attention on, you might say, a problem or an issue. So you can't really have a problem and calmness at the same time. Isn't that interesting?
That's fascinating. I love that story.
It is, and it's true, and that's how it all started. So basically that's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you where to tap. They're ends of meridian points. There are actually 14 meridians, and through time we've shortened it. We've taken out some, so they call it the short version. So first of all, let me just tell you where they are, and then we'll do a quick example. Okay. So first we do a setup. First you figure out what you want to tap on. So for the first thing, I like to, when I'm just sitting down, I like to just tap on stress, because we all pick up stress in our life, right? Like we're running, we're busy, we're late, everything, stress from our days. And when you think about it, if we're full of stress, we could bump into things. We could be on an elevator with the person who could change our life, and we would say the wrong thing. Or, we would be depressed. We wouldn't feel good. We could get sick. The same day, so that's on the negative scale of stress. If we go up to the positive scale of good energy, where, you're happy, you're in the right place at the right time, everything's flowing, you say the right thing, you meet someone, and it's like, oh my gosh, I could do this for you, and it's really a change from stress to good energy. So I see that as on one scale. So, the stress is from 0 to negative 10. And then the good energy is from 0 to positive 10. So the first thing we do in tapping is we go, what are we going to tap on? So the first thing right now that we'll tap on is just the stress that we each feel. And then we give it a subjective number. So we say 0 to 10, 10 being so stressed you want to pull your hair out. 0 is, I'm not stressed at all. You give yourself a rating. You say, how stressed do I feel right now? And you just listen. There's no right or wrong. It's just usually a number pops in your mind. Okay, do you have a number, Linda?
Let me just make sure I have this right. It's 0 to 10 for my stress level?
Yeah.
Okay. 6.
Okay. So now the first point we tap on is, we call it the karate chop point. You can use one hand, and with 3 of your fingers, you're going to tap on the fleshy part of the other hand where you would hit where you would karate chop a board underneath the little finger. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So that's the first point. I'll just tell you the other points.
Am I using the side of the 3 fingers?
The tips.
Okay.
Some people do the side. I do the tips.
Okay.
Kind of whatever feels good. And we're going to tap on this point as we say the setup statement. I'll say it, and then you repeat it after me 3 times. And after that, we go around the points, and we just state the problem or the issue. So I'll tell you the rest of the points now. The first point is called the eyebrow point. It's right where the eyebrows meet the nose. You can use one hand or 2 hand. You can switch side to side. It doesn't really matter. I usually tap with 2 fingers. And we're tapping just as long as it takes to say the statement, but about 7 times, but you don't have to count. Mm-hmm. The next point is at the side of the eye. So you follow the bone around, and it's literally at the side of the eye on that bone. It's not back by the ear. It's on the bone at the side of the eye. The third point is under the eye, directly under the pupil, again on that bone. So there's 3 points around the eyes. Then the next point, it's under the nose. It's between the nose and the upper lip. The next point is, I'll call it the chin point, but it's actually in between the lower lip and above the chin, kind of in that little cleft there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are both really fabulous, important points. Okay, and then the next one is probably the trickiest one to find. We call it the collarbone. It's a really important meridian point in Chinese medicine because it's kidney 27, and it's actually the juncture point for all the meridians. So if you're ever tired, you can even just tap on this one point, and it flips the meridians from going backwards to get you to rest to moving forward. So it's a great point to know. Mm-hmm. So how you find it is you go up. There's kind of that little U-shaped bone at your throat, and then go from that down an inch and out an inch. And it's kind of a little dip between two bones.
Got it.
Good. So tap there. So that's the collarbone. And then this one's kind of odd, but again, really important. Go under the armpit where the seam of your shirt is, about where a bra strap is for a woman. This is spleen point. Again, super important. If it's tender, it means you need it. Sometimes people go, oh my gosh, I can really feel that. This helps you digest your food too. Helps you lose weight. And then the last point is up on the crown of the head, right in the middle. And then there are so many good energy points. I just kind of tap around like in a little circle or a little halo all around the head. Okay, so do you have any questions about the points?
Not yet.
Okay, so I'll say things. I'm going to say a statement, and you repeat it, but you can change it. So if I say, I'm so stressed, and what you hear is, I'm so tired, you can say what you feel.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to do what we call the setup statement 3 times, and this is all tapping on the karate chop point of the hand, and you can feel free to switch hands if you want. Okay. So even though I feel all this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though my day has been so stressful. I accept who I am and how I feel. Even though I feel this stress in my body. And I feel it in my, where do you feel it?
Belly.
I feel it in my belly.
I
choose to let it go. And I choose to be open to this new experience. Okay, tap on the eyebrow point. All this stress.
Say that again.
All this stress. Tap on the side of the eye. The stress from my day. Under the eye. It's been kind of chaotic. Under the nose. The stress from work. On the chin point. All this stress from work. Collarbone. The stress from relationships. I forgot to say it's good to breathe on the points too. Under the arm, this financial stress. Top of the head, and all the other stresses. And then we'll do a positive round on the eyebrow point. I choose to feel peaceful. Side of the eye. I choose to let this stress go and just have a good time. Under the eye. I wonder if this silly tapping is going to work. Under the nose. That would be pretty amazing. Chin point. Could I really just tap away my stress? Collarbone. I'll try anything.
try anything.
Under the arm. It's worth a try.
It's worth a try.
Top of the head. I'm choosing to feel better now.
I'm choosing to feel better now.
Okay, then take a deep breath in and just blow it all out. And maybe take a drink of water or tea. Okay, and that was super short, but if you say, I feel stressed, and if you rate that 0 to 10, see if it's changed. Sometimes when you just barely start, like we hardly did anything, sometimes it'll actually go up because you're tuning into the stress. But did yours change at all?
I'd say it's about a 2.
About a 2. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely changed.
So, we could get that down to 0, but I'd rather jump in and get to the tapping tree.
Sure.
Is that good?
Yep, that's great.
Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
It's so amazing. And I just want to say to everybody, I use this every day. I get in the car and I think about what is the most pressing thing. A lot of times it's I'm overwhelmed or I have too much to do. And I'll just do, even though I'm overwhelmed, so it's a negative with a positive. Even though I'm overwhelmed, I choose to feel good. Even though I'm overwhelmed, I choose to have a good day. Even though I'm overwhelmed, I choose to have a good day. Overwhelmed, I feel tired, too much to do. Oh my gosh, got all these projects. I am leaving in the morning. I got to pack. And then I'll just do a positive round. I choose to feel great. I choose to feel in good energy. I choose to feel the spirit. I choose to feel in the flow. I choose to have a great time, even though things aren't going according to what I expected. I choose to have everything be great. I take a deep breath, and just that in under 2 minutes, you can change the course of your day. It's just very, very cool.
That is very cool.
And what's really important is to give it a rating before and after, because if you don't do that, you might not realize how powerful it is. You might just go, oh, yeah, I feel pretty good. Oh, I wasn't that stressed. You might say, I wasn't really that stressed. But if you've given it a number, so if you remember to rate it before and after, you'll kind of see how powerful it can be. So that's great. And if anybody wants a written description of the tapping, you can email me, and I'd be happy to send you one.
Okay, and what's your email address?
Robin at robinfriedman.net.
Great.
And my website is Energy Tools for Daily Living. Not the number, the word for. Energy Tools for Daily Living, because that's what these are. These are energy tools that you don't have to use for trauma. You can use this every day to make everyday things go so much better. Okay, so this is one of my favorite things, and I'm actually really happy, Linda, for you to learn this because you work with so many people. And what I love about this process is, so with EFT, you can take an experience, like say maybe you had a divorce or a breakup, and you can tap through specific events. Anytime something has that sting, where you talk about something that happened and you can still feel that energetic charge, then there's stuck energy. Whereas, sometimes you can talk about something that was really hard and it's just even. There's no So that's kind of the goal, is to get the energetic charge out of there so that we're not attracting more of the same, or so that we can be healthier, because that's hard on our physical bodies, because sooner or later our energetic bodies become our physical bodies. So it's just great for good health. So the thing that I love about this tree is we can bundle a year's worth of tapping sessions into 1 hour and tap everything away all at once.
Wow.
So the subconscious is so powerful. Okay, so what? So are we going to do a relationship tree? Or
I think that would be appropriate. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So on your paper, you want to put two parallel lines several inches apart. And this is going to be the trunk of our tree. And you can have your paper either going vertical or horizontal, either way you want. And in between this tree, we're going to put events, any stressful events. And so, Linda, if there's something that you don't want to share, because, and everyone who's listening, by nature, we're dealing kind of with, pardon my language, the crap. You know, this is why we're tapping on it. It's kind of the hard stuff. So if you don't want to say what it is, Linda, you can give it a code word. You know, you could call it the iron skillet or the bubble gum or the blue thing. You know, you don't have to spill, you know, everything can be totally confidential, which is great because your subconscious mind is still going to know what it is. All right? So just for this tapping purposes, if you don't mind saying a few events out loud.
Okay, give me a moment.
And you can just give them a word. You could say the breakup, the betrayal, the time in the drugstore.
Okay.
And it could also just, again, for people listening, it doesn't have to be relationship related. It could be kind of anything that causes you stress. Like if you had a brother that used to beat you up, you could say, my brother beating me up.
Okay. So I'm making a list here. So just give me just a second.
Sure. I'm going to write down a few of them so I know what to say when tapping.
Sure. Okay. So I decided to write these more so as some of the patterns or experiences than specific events. So, you know, I put disconnection, being unacknowledged, feeling unsupported, emotional distance, illusions, abuse.
Well, let me just say, let me just think about this, because actually what we're going to do, like to give you the overview, is on the trunk we're going to put events. On the tree branches we're going to put emotions, like how we feel because of those things that happened.
Okay.
And then the fruit or the leaves of that is going to be the consequences. Like maybe you feel betrayed or angry or sad, and because of that, then the fruits would be maybe you overeat or you don't feel like dating or whatever, and then the roots are going to be almost like limiting beliefs, how we might feel about ourselves, like I'm not good enough.
Gotcha.
Everybody's better than me. So I'm not sure that the things you're saying really belong on the trunk.
Okay.
But do you want to start on the? It sounds like you're starting with emotions.
Some of them do belong on the trunk because they're related to events.
Okay.
So they're kind of the way I'm languaging what happened. A couple of these would be my emotions associated with that. So, like disconnection, abuse, illusions.
Would you say those are emotions?
No.
Events.
Those are events.
Okay.
Loss and betrayal.
Disconnections, loss, betrayal.
Illusions.
Illusions. Okay.
Or you could even put deceit. in there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. And then what we're going to do is just put a few squiggly lines. The few squiggly lines are the way for our subconscious to fill in every stressful thing that's happened to us related to relationships that we haven't put down. So it's actually brilliant.
It's handy.
Yeah, because it can do that. It's way more powerful than we are. I mean, than our conscious mind is.
Right.
Okay, so now sticking out of the trunk, just draw some straight branches going up. And on these, we're going to put emotions, how we feel because of these events. So usually, like, there's some sadness, anger, grief, those types of things. But everybody's tree will be unique. And everybody just put down what they feel. Fear is pretty common. Do you have any that you want to add, Linda?
Lonely, protective, defensive.
That's
I guess
good.
scared and fear are the same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if scared comes up, that's, again, for everybody else, the words that come up to you, that is your subconscious talking to you. It's really important to put the words you hear.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, just put a few squiggly branches in there. Your subconscious can add in all your other emotions that you feel because of this. And then up there in the branches, draw some big ovals, big enough that you can write in them. It doesn't have to be, we're going to put consequences, and they don't have to be, like if you're on the sadness branch, it doesn't have to be a consequence of sadness. It's just a consequence altogether. Like, because we have these things, what does that create in our life? Like for me, it would be like maybe not going for things that I otherwise would have, or holding back, or the extra 10 pounds. So again, it's very unique for everybody else. Because you have these events and because you have these emotions, what are the consequences? What is the fruit of that in your life? So anything you could share for that, Linda?
Yeah, isolation, limitation and disconnection, weight, failure.
Okay, that's great. And are you okay doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, for everybody else, it can get kind of intense because we're looking at all the crap, but for a good reason and for a short time. All right. And so then, again, just put a couple leaves or fruits with squiggly lines in it to signify all the other things.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to draw the horizon ground, the ground, and then under the ground we'll draw some lines going down, deep roots. And these are what we have come to think about ourselves because of all of this. Sometimes called limiting beliefs, but they're conclusions that we have made about ourselves and our life because of these other outward things. Most people have, I'm not good enough. But also things that you say to yourself all the time that you always hear. I'm not as good as everyone else. I can never do it. Everyone else is better than me. There's not enough. Yeah, it's kind of, there's these things we say to ourselves as the truth because of what we've experienced. Do you have any you could share?
It's kind of interesting because I realized I drew 4 lines, so I wrote down 4 things, but I realized that they're two of the same thing repeated. Because I wrote undeserving of love and unworthy, and then I'm not enough and unlovable. So I find that very interesting.
Undeserving of love, not enough, and what else?
Unworthy and unlovable.
Okay.
Like a repeated message for both.
Right, and it's good to thank yourself for being willing to give that. You know what I mean? It's kind of a gift. A lot of these things we try to stuff them down because but it's great that it's showing you that. All right, and we'll do the same thing. A couple other squiggly lines. Okay, so this is the tree. Everybody has their own tree, and so we need to give the tree a name. You could call it whatever you want. You could call it the betrayal tree, the tree of crap, the relationship tree. You could call it a name.
Yeah.
So what?
No, I actually the first word that came to me was despair. So that's what I'm going with.
Okay, the despair tree. And if you jump up in the branches, hang out in those branches, and how does this feel? 0 to 10. 0 is fine. 10 is horrible.
Hanging out in the branches? Pretty crappy. So I'd say like an 8. 8 or 9. Okay.
That's normal because again, it's our crap. So you're not going to feel great about it.
That's the tree of crap.
Right, the despair tree. Okay. And now, so this is interesting too. So just take a deep breath and close your eyes if you want. And if this was a tree, what would it look like? First thing that pops in your mind.
It's very, it's kind of like blackened and gnarly and lifeless, like it's an old, craggly tree that's been burned terribly, but it still stands, but it's been just deeply, deeply burned.
Okay, and how tall is it?
It's not real tall. It's more kind of twisted and, like almost stunted.
Is it like as tall as you? And how far away from it are you? But are you under it? Are you right in it, or are you looking at it like across?
I'm looking at it.
Okay, good.
From a distance, so I'm not in it.
Okay, good. And everybody else, if you're looking at your tree, you don't want to be under it or sitting in the branches. You want to be looking at it like across the yard or something. Okay, so ready to tap?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say things, and anybody else on the call, you can repeat our words. You have your tree in front of you, and there's a phenomenon that's been scientifically proven in EFT that's called borrowing of benefits. So what it means is like you're going to say Linda's words with her, and you could be dealing with a relationship with money, it could have nothing to do with what Linda's saying, but just repeat the words that Linda's doing. And when you're done and you look down at your tree, your issues will have gone down as well. It's really cool. That's why tapping is so great in a group. But so Linda, because we're just doing this one-on-one, if I say I feel angry and what you hear is I feel pissed off, you change my words to be true for you. And also the other thing I want to say about tapping is it does bring up emotion. So also, too, for everybody else, like if you start to tear up or cry, it's really normal. I yawn when I'm releasing. I do this really weird-sounding yawn. Or some people laugh or some people burp. All of that is just good. It means there's energy shifting, so it's fine. And don't be embarrassed by it because it happens all the time. All right, on the karate chop point. Even though I have this tree.
Even though I have this tree.
My despair tree.
My despair tree.
And it's all black and gnarly and burned.
And it's all black and gnarly and burned.
I accept who I am and how I feel anyway.
I accept who I am and how I feel anyway.
Even though I have this despair tree.
Even though I have this despair tree.
And it's an 8.
And it's an 8.
Because it's got all this stuff in it.
Because it's got all this stuff in it.
And I don't even like looking at it.
And I don't even like looking at it.
I do accept who I am and how I feel.
I do accept who I am and how I feel.
Even though I have this ugly despair tree.
Even though I have this ugly despair tree.
I totally and deeply accept who I am.
I totally and deeply accept who I am.
Okay, on the eyebrow point, I'm just going to go through some of the events and emotions and thoughts. Disconnection.
Disconnection.
Side of the eye, all this loss.
All this loss.
Under the eye, all this betrayal.
All this betrayal.
Under the nose, all these illusions.
All these illusions.
Under the chin, all this deceit.
All this deceit.
Collarbone, no wonder I have this despair tree.
No wonder I have this despair tree.
Under the arm, anybody would have a despair tree.
Anybody would have a despair tree.
With all of these things I've been through.
With all of these things I've been through.
Top of the head, all of these hard events in my life.
All of these hard events in my life.
Eyebrow point, all this loneliness.
All this loneliness.
Side of the eye, this isolation.
This isolation.
Under the eye, all this anger.
All this anger.
Under the nose, this scared.
All this scaredness.
Chin, all this fear.
All this fear.
That's so good, Linda. I love those yawns. Collarbone,
yeah.
All this fear.
All this fear.
Under the arm, all this fear.
All this fear.
Top of the head, which creates all this failure.
Which creates all this failure.
Eyebrow point and all this weight.
And all this weight.
Side of the eye, this limitation.
These limitations.
Under the eye, this isolation.
This isolation.
Under the nose, I can't do what I want to do.
I can't do what I want to do.
Chin, I have all these emotions that aren't the real me.
I have all these emotions that aren't the real me.
Collarbone, I am not good enough.
I am not good enough.
Under the arm, I am so unworthy.
I am so unworthy.
Top of the head, I am so unlovable.
I am so unlovable.
Eyebrow, I am undeserving of love.
I am undeserving of love.
Side of the eye, I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough.
Under the eye, there's not enough for me.
There's not enough for me.
Under the nose, everything's got to be hard.
Everything's got to be hard.
So, and then, if other things come up, like things your parents told you, money doesn't grow on trees. Good men are hard to find. As you're tapping, these things that are in there will come up because they're in there. I'm undeserving of love. And all this other stuff that's in there.
Am I repeating that? Sorry.
Oh, whatever.
Okay.
My blackened gnarly tree.
My blackened gnarly tree.
Eyebrow point, this despair tree.
This despair tree.
Side of the eye, deeply burned.
Deeply burned.
Under the eye, gnarly.
Gnarly.
Under the nose, blackened.
Blackened.
Chin, not standing up straight.
Not standing up straight.
Collarbone, this despair tree.
This despair tree.
Okay, take a deep breath in and blow it out. And let's just try this one thing before we, okay, go ahead and look at the tree and see if it's changed, and then we're going to do one more thing.
Okay.
So would you say your number went up or down, like the intensity of the tree?
It went down.
Okay. It was an 8. What would you say it is now?
Around a 5 or 6.
Okay. That's good. And does the picture of it, does it still look the same, or has it changed at all?
No, it's changed. It's still kind of small and twisted a bit, but it looks more like a bonsai tree. So it has leaves and foliage on it.
Oh, cool.
So, and it doesn't
has
look
a little bit of beauty.
Yeah, it doesn't look all burnt and charred.
Cool.
Yeah, so it has some life in it.
Awesome. Okay, so and now this is an interesting thing to do. So take your fingertips and just put them at your eyebrow point, but don't tap. Just put them on that point, and we're going to put them on each of the points, and we're just going to touch and breathe. So we're going to take a deep breath in and out at each point. And just kind of look at that little bonsai tree now. And then go to the side of the eye. And go under the eye. And under the nose. And under the chin. And these breaths are really good, and on the collarbone. So we're breathing out all that energy out of our system. And under the armpits. It's a gift that your subconscious has showed you. And the top of the head. We'll just do a few more. The top of the eye point. And the side of the eye point. And under the eye point. That's good. And then just shake your hands out and maybe get, whoops, sorry about that. I leaned over. And take a drink of water. And kind of look around the room where you are, just to kind of ground yourself back in the here and now. Break state, as they say in hypnotherapy. And then after you've done that, Linda, if you could take a look at your tree and see if it changed again.
It has. It's taller and it has fruit on it.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Yeah. Very cool.
So let's, I don't want to take the time to do this all on paper, but so Linda, why don't you, let's tap in the kind of tree that you want to have. All right? So just tapping, first I'll say the points and you say events that you want to have in your new life. So whatever things you want to happen, like I write a best-selling book, I get a new publisher, I have a fabulous relationship, I easily maintain my ideal weight, like things, concrete things, okay?
Okay.
And again, you can give it a code word if you don't want to share your life with everybody. Okay, so eyebrow point. And you can even just say success, happiness, but, you know, we are going to get to emotions, so first just say some events.
Sure. A soul partnership.
A full partnership. I'll repeat after you.
Soul partnership.
A full partnership. Soul partnership?
Soul, yeah, like heart soul.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Soul partnership. A loving partnership.
A loving partnership.
How about lots of fun?
Lots of fun.
Lots of money.
Lots of money.
Excellent health.
Excellent health.
We're just tapping around the points. It doesn't matter which point you're on.
Okay.
Good friends.
Great friends.
Fun exercising.
Fun exercising.
Healthy food, easily available.
Healthy food, easily available.
Clean house.
A clean house.
Okay, I just threw some of mine in. Go ahead, Linda. This is your tree. What do you want?
Oh, God, it just popped out of my head. Enjoying the body.
Enjoying the body. I love that.
Feeling supported.
Feeling supported. Yeah, let's go into emotions. So feeling supported, feeling loved.
Loving and being loved.
Being understood.
Being understood. Joyful.
Joyful. Peaceful.
Peaceful.
Happy.
Happy.
Fun.
Fun. Connected.
Connected.
Feeling valued.
Valued.
Being honored.
Being honored.
Sharing love.
Sharing love.
Opening my heart.
Opening my heart. Okay, and these are good. These are actually kind of moving into consequences, so that let's keep going with that. You can do emotions or consequences. Like if all those things were happening, what else would be available in your life?
I got stuck.
Okay. About living your purpose.
There you go. Good. Living my purpose.
Like you'd be wanting the best for everybody because you wouldn't have any lack, right?
Right. Wanting the best for everybody. Being of service.
Being a shining light.
Being a shining light.
Radiance.
Radiance.
A thriving healing center, or whatever
Thriving
you call
healing
your place.
center.
Mm-hmm. A fabulous network of friends and co-workers.
A fabulous network of friends and colleagues.
And then let's go into the beliefs. What would you be thinking about yourself when all this is true in your life?
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I am a child of spirit.
I am a child of spirit.
I am fully supported and connected to the divine.
I am fully supported and connected to the divine.
I am loved and lovable.
I am loved and lovable.
I am deserving
I am
of all
deserving
good.
Of all good. And Linda, if all of this beingness had a color, what color would that be? Kind of like this true you, this. Do you see it as a healing color?
I see it as a it's kind of got a blend of colors, like a golden, pink, violet color kind of swirling together.
Beautiful. Okay, so close your eyes and you can stop tapping and picture a sun, a ball of light above your head that is those colors. Golden, pink, and violet. And we want to bring it in through your crown chakra. And it's entering your head. And as this beautiful, brilliant light enters your head, it's actually changing all the neural pathways of the other thoughts, create neural pathways in your brain. This is creating new, beautiful neural pathways. It's literally changing the DNA in your brain and how you think. And then bring it down into your throat, and so that all your communication will be filled with this radiant, golden, pink, and violet light. Bring it down into your chest and your lungs and your heart. And your body is like healing as this light goes down. It's like lighting up. And down both of your arms, all the way down to your fingertips, out through the chakras in your palms. You can feel the energy just emanating out. It's like each and every cell is healing, blessing, like becoming so brilliant. And then continue down into your solar plexus, and it's like healing that chakra, that sense of yourself. Beautiful golden light down into the second chakra, kind of the womb chakra, the creativity, down into your organs. Everything is healed, blessed, like made perfect as it goes. Down into your hips, your legs, down your thighs, knees, down your calves, down through the bottom of your feet, down into Mother Earth, like deep, deep, deep into the earth. And then breathe in and let the energy come back up through your legs, through your knees, beautiful golden pink, violet light up to the heart. And when it gets to the heart, we're going to shoot this, we're going to beam this out through the heart. The heart is the greatest electromagnetic center in the body. So we're going to beam it out until this brilliant light fills your whole aura. So you are actually sitting in this brilliant bubble of golden, pink, and violet swirling light. It's like literally you're sitting in it. And then turn up the brightness, like on television. Just make it brighter, brighter, brighter until it's encompassing you. This light is there. So while we're at it, let's make an anchor for this so you can bring it back when you want. So take the fingernail of your third finger on your right hand and dig it into your thumb flesh, like an OK sign. And your body is filled with this brilliant light, and create that anchor. And then let it go. Let your thumb go. And then take this light and beam it to fill the whole room you're sitting in, to fill your whole house or building that you're in, fill your yard, fill your neighborhood, fill your town. Stretch it across from your town to my town in Connecticut, and shoot it out into the whole United States, and then all the way around the earth. So this is your new energetic imprint that you are sending out into the world. And then take a deep breath and come back. Open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes, look around the room. How do you feel?
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel fabulous.
Great. So just try this. Try doing the little anchor thing with your fingernail, your third finger, and your thumb. And can you feel those physiological feelings flood your body again?
Mm. They didn't leave altogether anyway, but yes, I can. It's like it's re-amping.
Yeah. So you can use this, like if you're ready to go into a meeting and you don't feel so confident or something. And the reason I picked this anchor, you could do any anchor, but it's because you can do it and no one will know you're doing it. And so it's like this little gift you can give yourself secretly. Okay, so take one last look now that we've tapped on the good stuff, and take a look at your tree and what does it look like now?
Oh, that's interesting. It's turned into a sapling.
Oh.
So it's like a new baby growth.
That's beautiful. Yeah, so sometimes, and it's interesting because sometimes I actually tear up the other paper and then we use it as mulch and have a new tree. So it is kind of like your other tree went away and you got a new tree.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, because like the other tree was getting healthier and now it's not there.
It's a new tree.
Yeah.
And so like that's a gift from your subconscious to you, that new life that you just created is actually a sapling. So that's pretty cool. It's not just like a little sprout. It's somewhat developed.
Yeah. It's not just popping up. It's got some some growth to it. Like it's like a yearling of a tree.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, very fabulous. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. My pleasure. So that is the tapping tree exercise. Yeah, sometimes we actually do a whole different. We can do them separate, the negative and the positive, but it felt like we should just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So we're perfectly ending at just about 8:30 here. So.
Okay.
If anyone has any questions, again, feel free to email me at robin@robinfriedman.net, or my website has a contact us thing, Energy Tools for Daily Living. And if anybody would like to do a personal session, if you mention Linda's website, Wellness and Harmony, I'll be doing half off for you for the first session through for 60 days from now. But I'm pretty busy, so it's going to be a little while, but I'm happy to do that, and I really love doing this with your group tonight, Linda.
Great. Thank you so much for being here, Robin. It was a wonderful gift to have you. Even more than a gift than I expected. So thank you for that.
My pleasure.
I love surprise endings.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you so much. And again, definitely check out Robin's website and look more into the wonderful work that she does, and send her a thank you for the gift she's given us tonight.
Yes, and I look forward to the rest of your series. It sounds great, Linda.
Great, and thank you so much again for being part of it.
My pleasure. Okay.